What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well, having a great Wednesday, midweek settings. Yes, the season is finally over, but the fun here at UV is just beginning. We're heading straight into transfer season. There's never a dull day being a Manchester United fan. So this evening, we've got a packed show, actually. We're going to talk about everyone's favourite topic, which is Harry Maguire, possible replacements for Maguire as the Manchester United captain. Some interesting reports coming out about that today. We've got Erik ten Hag, his pre-season blueprints, what he expects from players, a lot of fitness, a lot of details involving the players, which is fascinating as well. Plus, on top of all that, we've got some transfer updates about possible departures and much, much more. But before we get into any of that, I'm joined this evening by Faz. It's been a hot minute, Faz. It's been a hot minute since we've last spoke. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I think United View hit 100K and then forgot about Faz, didn't it?
We're
No,
threatened
I'm
by Planet
messing.
Faz. You're taking over
Um,
the universe.
yeah, I'm messing. But yeah, it's been a hot minute. And you know what? It's good that it's been a hot minute because sometimes you need a bit of space because how long the season has been. It was good to just have a minute and just see things instead of, try and dissect everything. So yeah.
Yeah, how you feeling now the season's over? Glad it's out the way, glad it's done.
Yeah, very much so. Glad that it's done, but more so glad that the manager's here. He's finally here, and something to look forward to. And yeah, I'm just more excited just to walk into the stadium next season on my first game back, sit and start singing again. So yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like it's weird, isn't it? Because the season's over, and it does feel somewhat like a weight has been lifted, and then you just come crashing back down to earth because you go, "Wow, I'm not going to get too far. I'm not going to get too positive. You never know." But let's start off talking about Harry Maguire because, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's everyone's favorite talking point, right? Everyone loves talking about Harry Maguire. But some interesting talking points about the Manchester United captain, how long he will be the Manchester United captain. Of course, in Erik ten Hag's first press conference, he was asked about Maguire, said some complimentary things about him. Didn't commit to saying he was going to be the next, or still going to be the captain of Manchester United. But Rob Dawson from ESPN is reporting today that the Manchester United squad are split over whether Harry Maguire should continue with the captain's armband next season. Now, if Maguire were to be replaced, Rob Dawson is saying that David De Gea, Bruno Fernandes, and Cristiano Ronaldo are among the candidates to take over as Manchester United's captain if there is indeed a change. But when it comes to Maguire starting under Erik ten Hag, Dawson has also said that Maguire is not guaranteed to start under the new manager because of his lack of pace and ten Hag's tendency to play with a high defensive line. So I will start off, Faz. What do you think? How would you rate the chances of Harry Maguire being the Manchester United captain on the first day of next season?
You know how Coca-Cola says zero sugar in their Coke? Zero sugar. Zero. No chance. Ten Hag doesn't let him be captain. Impossible. It's the fact that it's even in conversation to think, oh, will he or whatever. It's not happening. He's just arrived. He's settling in into his office and etc. etc. He's talking with his assistant, with McClaren, and they all know eventually they're gonna pull the captaincy band off him. It's destined to happen. The club is going in a new direction. The team is going into a new direction. The team needs a new leader, and it's definitely not going to be Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how, as I mentioned, I don't want to say he sidestepped it, but I think he handled that answer very well in his press conference. I saw a lot of people almost upset that he paid a compliment to Harry Maguire. And I get it. I understand that people are like, well, he's not been great for Manchester United. And Ten Hag said, oh, he's achieved so much and all this kind of stuff. I get it. It's not true. As KG said, it's a lie. If we were playing Would I Lie to You, you press the button, lie would appear behind you. But what's he going to say? He's going to say, oh, yeah, he's rubbish. I'm never going to play him. Of course, he's going to say complimentary things about him. If he were to be the Manchester United captain, if he were Erik ten Hag's selection to be captain, or he'd already made his mind up on that, he would have probably said there and then, right? He would have gone, yeah, Maguire's going to be my captain. He didn't. That does speak volumes. But in terms of these early decisions, because he's got some big early decisions to make, Erik ten Hag, one of them is the captaincy. Is that, would you say, his biggest early decision? Does that kind of set the tone as he means to go on if he does change the captaincy straight out of the gate?
Look, first and foremost, to address the point that you said that he was being nice, no matter what kind of what breakdown Ralph gives him, what breakdown he's read online or whatever from his analysts, whatever it is, he's gonna be a gentleman about it, right? He's gonna be professional about it. So he's gonna as much as some fans are saying that or might think that why is he being nice about Harry Maguire, we already know he backs the players that wear his shirt, that wear the club shirt. He's going to back them even when they are not performing. So that's the first thing we need to iron out. We're going to see more of this when throughout the seasons that he's going to be here. When players perform bad or have a bad game or have a bad patch, he's still going to support them. That's the type of manager he is. Just because he said that doesn't mean he wholeheartedly probably believes it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, would it be his most kind of biggest decision coming in and taking the captaincy up? 100%. It sets the tone, right? It lets every player know, it lets the club know, it lets the fans know, it lets the world know that I am here to make big decisions. I'm not going to shy away from any challenge. I'm not going to shy away from any big decisions. I'm not going to just do something just to maybe not be political and X, Y, Z. I'm going to do, as Ten Hag, what I feel right and the direction I want to take this team. And the direction I want to take this team, I do not see Harry Maguire as captain. Thus, I am going to take the captaincy band off Harry Maguire. I believe there is another person in the squad who will be much better fit. I will have a conversation with him, have a conversation with the team. They're willing to follow him. They're willing to get mentored by the new captain. And that's the direction I'm going to go. And that's what he's going to do. And if he does that, then it sets the tone, plain and simple.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly does set a tone, and it does. Everyone's talking about change, aren't they, at Man United? Changing the manager, changing executives and all that kind of stuff. Certainly a change of captain would be in keeping with that change. When it comes to replacements, we spoke about replacements a few times, even just when it's just been me and you on these kind of shows. We've mentioned De Gea, Bruno, Ronaldo. They're the key candidates. What's interesting, I think, is your sort of journey when it comes to the captaincy, because previously you mentioned Ronaldo. And then once some flexing myself, this was right after I think it was the Everton game, wasn't it? Right after the Everton game when he slapped the phone out of the guy's hand. And at the time we were like, no, I'm not sure about that one, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually we kind of came round and we said, actually, yeah, I think Ronaldo might be the captaincy. It's good the guy to take the captaincy. And you went, yeah, I agree. Although I might give it to De Gea now. So where do you sit? Where do you sit when it comes to who that should be?
It's always going to be Ronaldo, but you have to be unbiased. I love Ronaldo personally, so I'm going to have a general bias towards him anyways. But David De Gea has been here a long, long time himself, right? Let's put some respect on his name as well. And everybody knows how he's been in the media this season, right? So considering that, I wanted to give my dues and respect that he is also in the conversation. At the end of the day, the person who makes the most sense psychologically, mentally, physically, in all aspects of the game, on and off the pitch, it is Cristiano Ronaldo who should be wearing the captaincy band. Without a shadow of doubt, it should be Cristiano Ronaldo. His antic that he did, slapping the phone out, you know what? It's not Ronaldo, and it's probably built up, pent up frustration from the whole season, from what he's witnessed, and also you have to think he's saying to Harry Maguire, "Yes, cap, yes, captain." That is a lot for someone who's got God knows how many handful of Ballon d'Ors, 5 Ballon d'Ors. So it just makes more sense. Everybody looks up to him, the senior players, the junior players, everybody, the staff members, the kitchen, everybody looks up to him, and it makes the most sense. Plus, David De Gea, everybody's already on his case about his distribution and this, that, the other. So right now, as the season's finished, let's not give the captaincy band to David De Gea. Let's not even think about giving it to Bruno just yet. Let's give it to Ronaldo. Let Ronaldo set the precedent, set the tone for a season or two, however long he's going to be here, and then kind of show Bruno that this is how you're going to lead. This is how and then pass the baton on to him, pass the captaincy armband to him. But let Ronaldo be a leader that he truly is. He naturally is a leader, right? This psychotic winning mentality of his, let's install that into this team going forward. So yeah, give the band to him.
Nate H with the super chat says, Ronaldo isn't a captain. Come on, Faz. Never been one. I appreciate the contribution, Nate H. I respectfully disagree on that one. I think, look, I'm with you on this one, Faz, when it comes to who that would be. I do think it would be a decision between Ronaldo and De Gea. Previously, I would have said Bruno would have been a part of that conversation. I really do have doubts about his sort of leadership qualities. I think they have almost declined, actually, over the course of the last sort of season. And that's not just because of how he's been playing, but also I think in terms of how he would be leading that side on the pitch in terms of setting an example, not just in terms of playing style, but also in terms of his actions, attitude, etc. I think if you're going to ask, if you were to do a poll of everyone in the dressing room, what player do you look up to as a leader? Probably would be Ronaldo. Most people would say, well, how can you respect anyone more than Cristiano Ronaldo in that dressing room? I do also agree when it comes to David De Gea. He's got tenure there as well. I think with Ronaldo, obviously the conversation about his future after next season is a talking point. We know he's got 1 year left, plus an extra year on his contract. But I think David De Gea also has got, 2 years? So realistically, they could be at the club for a similar amount of time anyway. And I do agree that David De Gea in the media, particularly some of the interviews he's done recently, have been fantastic. He doesn't pull any punches. He's not afraid after a bad performance to go in front of the media, go in front of the journalists, answer the difficult questions, give honest answers. You could argue he's led by example in terms of his performances this season. Those two players, Ronaldo and De Gea, can certainly hold their heads high and say, well, I think I've played pretty well this year in a really bad Manchester United side. I would probably lean more into Cristiano Ronaldo. We're talking about big decisions by Erik ten Hag. I think that's a big decision, but an easy one to make quite quickly. You know what I mean?
Can I just to make a point? Who's the captain of AC Milan? Is it Roma? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but is it Roma Noli or something?
Oh, the centre back.
Yeah, AC Milan's captain.
Yeah.
But who's the leader in the changing room? It's Zlatan. You saw his post-match, what do you call it,
speech.
talk that he did in the speech that he did in the changing room. He's the one that's dictating the tone. He's the one that's setting the tone in the changing room. You can tell all the players look up to him. That's the same thing with Ronaldo. If we give him the opportunity, if we give him the armband, and and we allow him to do what he does best, is champion the team and promote this winning mentality within the team, he will naturally, with his aura and his mentality, uplift the team going towards the new season. And that's exactly what we need. We need a mentality change, and the best person to install that early on is him.
Yeah, I mean, it says here in the super chat, this is kind of my point, that Ronaldo was the captain / coach. He almost was a coach for Portugal when they won the Euros in 2016. He's a leader for how long he stays, and when he leaves, get someone else. Appreciate the contribution there. I mean, Ronaldo, like they said, captains his country. Everyone in that Portugal side looks up to him and admires him. And you could argue, does it become an issue if Ronaldo's the captain and there might be games next season where he shouldn't be playing and he's on the bench? Does that make putting Ronaldo on the bench an even bigger issue, a bigger problem? But it's just, I think when you look at the options available to Erik ten Hag, the options are actually very limited in terms of who that captain should be. To be honest, even if he went with David De Gea and he just said, it's because we're not really sure how long Ronaldo's going to be there, I wouldn't complain too much, to be honest.
No,
but I think it should be one of those two.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Ronaldo, after the season he's had, going forward, will do a brilliant job for our youngsters that are also coming in, the new players that are coming in. Even, for Bruno to get tips and tricks from him about, just being a leader, because we know how Bruno can be at times, throwing his hands, having a go at players. Even Maguire having a go at players as a captain, which you should be doing. Cool, but they will take the best lesson that they can possibly have from the best player, and possibly if he does become a coach or whatever, he's just the best person for this right moment in time. We need a mentality change, and the best person, one and only person in the whole of footballing world who has the most solid mentality is Cristiano Ronaldo. So we should just equip him to be our captain.
Speaking of Ronaldo, he's back with a super chat that says, I will claim what's mine. So he's going to claim his captain's armband. I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate here, Faz. If there's a big if, hypothetical world we're living in now, if Ten Hag does keep Maguire as captain, Do you back that decision because we have to back the new manager?
I plead the fifth.
Really?
Listen, just seriously, I would be very annoyed. I'd be annoyed. It doesn't justify any, like, at the end of the day, what Ten Hag does on the pitch makes the most, it's the most important thing. But off the pitch right now, we need big changes as well so that we can go and represent that on the pitch. Our mentality is broken. Our team is broken. Spirit, confidence, whatever, every single thing on the book, everything's gone broken. If he does that, like, it's actually so, I don't know. It's so much so that I don't even want to speak about it. Like, I'm so confident that it's not going to happen that I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think that he's going to do that. I'm going to have to back him. I will have to swallow any pride and ego and whatever I have in my head. I'll have to take it and just run with it. And if Maguire starts in the first game back and he's got the captaincy band on, listen, I'm just on Control Alt Delete. Wipe everything, crush the hard drive. It's gone. Last season, it's gone out the window. Just fresh new slate. So that's all I can say. But I really don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I mean, it'll be. Who knows? But you know what the reaction will be, and look, that reaction probably is very justified. But it's a difficult position to be in, isn't it? Because on one hand, you want to be like, new manager, giving him the benefit of the doubt, back the manager. But that's such a decision that people don't want, that it would be like, you're testing me. You're testing me.
Can I be honest? Let's put a blanket ban on that question. I don't want stuff like this to be put out in the universe. I'm a big fan of manifestation, and I do not want this type of energy being put out into this universe. Yeah, just yeah. No more talk on Maguire being captain.
Okay. Well, okay, a different one then. Even if he's not captain, I think it's fair to say Harry Maguire will be at Manchester United next season. I don't think he's going to be sold this summer. I don't think he wants to go. And two, who's going to buy him, right? So I think he's going to be here. They said there that he's not going to be a guaranteed starter. Do you think there's any chance that Maguire can play Ten Hag ball, or is the qualities, are they just not there?
He's going to get filtered out eventually. He's going to get filtered out. So for him to be able to, at his age now, I don't see him getting any better. I don't see him gaining any new abilities, improving his abilities or whatever. But I'm in the mental state where I'm thinking anything is possible in terms of any player under Ten Hag could turn around, like Marcus Rashford, just to touch on that as well. So in terms, Maguire next season on the bench, cool, comes on every now and then. You just have to accept it. Just to hope that he doesn't make mistakes and you know he can just do a little bit more to just play into Ten Hag's system. But eventually he'll get filtered out. That's just God's honest truth. In due time, he'll get filtered out. And this is just the start of him being benched and eventually exiting the club.
Super chat from Tabarez says, Maguire need to think about himself. He is an England starter. Go to Newcastle. 50 million, thanks. Not my captain. Signed left-footed Evan Nadikia. Glory, glory, Man United. 50. I mean, if you got 50 million for Harry Maguire, I mean, take it all day. I don't know, Tabarez, if we get 50. And Newcastle, I mean, that would prove that Newcastle have more money than sense at that point. If they spend 50 million for Harry Maguire, you'd say, well, they've really got a lot of money.
Don't say anything.
Nate H says, change the channel name to the Ronaldo Stand. Well, Nate, first of all, you got the wrong suffix at the end of that one. So it would actually be Ronaldo View. But okay, that's cool. Because we're being positive about Cristiano Ronaldo being the captain. I mean, I know everyone doesn't have the same opinion, obviously, but I thought that was a fairly popular opinion or common opinion. No. Nevertheless, Ronaldo's back once again. Says if Maguire keeps the band, it's confirmed a contractual clause. Wow. Ronaldo, he occasionally comes in with the super chats here on the channel. Sometimes he talks about the moisture in the air being difficult for the joints. Maybe that's why he didn't play last game of the season. If anything, actually, Ronaldo, since you are in the chat, it would be nice to know why you missed that game. We heard the hip flexor issue. It would be good to know, actually. It would be nice to know. Let's talk about Ten Hag pre-season. We hear a lot, don't we, about Ten Hag being so details-orientated, so focused. He ended his stint at Ajax early, came straight to the UK to get started to prepare pre-season. And we have a bit of an insight as to what this blueprint looks like for the next season coming up. So this comes from the Mirror, which, again, but let's take a look. Erik ten Hag has reportedly ordered a full profile of all the Manchester United players before he meets them in person. He also wants to know where all of his players are going in the summer break. He wants to know where they're going to spend their holidays. Okay. Now, Ten Hag wants to know about the Manchester United players' families and home life. This is so he can make a full assessment of their character and how they lead their lives. Ten Hag has also warned Manchester United players to stay in peak condition for when they return and prepare for, get this, the most demanding pre-season of their careers. So, an intense pre-season, a focus on the players' lives and player profiles. That's music to our ears, Faz. But how are the players going to react to that, do you think?
They might feel a bit awkward and a bit, what can I say? How's the bit weird about it, because you're a new manager, whatever. We know, we've been reading things about players disregarding managers and XYZ, but they might just feel like this is a bit different compared to Ole, who was always putting his arm around our shoulder. But I was just looking for my hairdryer then. I don't know where it is. But I tell you what.
I was wondering what you were doing. I was thinking, what's he doing? I just saw.
I was looking for my hairdryer. This just makes me feel very giddy. I just get very happy when I hear these things. He wants to know where you're going, what you're doing. No more clubbing, no more partying, no more BS. It's strict business. He wants to know everything about your family, Jesse Lingard. He wants to know which country you're flying to, Marcus Rashford, and he wants to know every player's profile. This is oh my God, this is beautiful music to my ears, honestly.
I mean, it's very, you used to hear those stories, and I'm always very remiss to compare anyone to Sir Alex, but you used to hear those stories about Sir Alex of him going, he knows every single player at the club, including the youth players. He knows their families on first name basis. He knows everyone. And I do think that's good. And I do think some of these players, you almost need to dive a little bit deeper, know their personalities. I do think they need a tough preseason. Our running stats are rubbish. You know, we don't press, we don't do anything of that. My concern is, Faz, not necessarily a concern in the sense of, you know, it will lead to the end of Erik ten Hag or anything like that. My concern is, we have seen it before. We saw it under Ollie of we don't really like the training. These coaches don't really know what they're doing. We heard it under Ralph. We don't really like this training. It's getting dark a bit late. How long before we hear those complaints? How long before we hear, doing a lot of running in this pre-season? Oh, I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about that. How long before we hear that, do you think?
If I genuinely must be naive, I must really be naive, but I don't think we're gonna hear anything like this. I really don't. I think Ten Hag's gonna
really. You don't think we'll hear anything like that?
I must be being naive, but I really think the players now should be able to turn around and say, you know, he's here to stay. He is here to stay, and this is just what we're going to have to deal with. They could complain. The thing is, Owen, they could complain all they want, but it's not going to get them anywhere. Ten Hag ain't going nowhere. We're not going to be backing the players. We're behind Mr. Ten Hag. So they could try and complain, whatever, but it's just going to be like, well, big, so what? Get on with it. Suck it up. So I think they might think of it from that aspect and think, you know what, we might as well just have to put a graft in, put a shift in and get on with it.
I see. I think the opposite. I don't think it takes very long at all before we hear those kind of things. I hope the only difference is that this time, if you hear those kind of reports, that's an inclination that player can go. In the past, when you heard those reports about, the players don't like training or whatever, kind of means the beginning of the end for the manager, whether it be Solskjaer, whether it be Ralph. And that's a concern. You go, well, these players aren't on board. And in previous iterations of Manchester United, if the players didn't like the manager went. That was the decision. The board always, certainly Ed Woodward, always the decision was players over the manager. If they don't like the manager's gone. My hope would be is that if we hear those reports this time round, it's sort of like, well, tough shit. You can go then. If you don't like it, you can go because this guy isn't going anywhere. And I hope that's the difference this time in that it's John Murtough and Richard Arnold's first appointment, right? It's their first manager and Erik ten Hag, full-time manager. They will be desperate that he succeeds because it's their reputation on the line as well. So if a player puts out some complaints or leaks to the media or whatever, oh, he's doing a lot of running, or he wants to know all of these details about us, they'll be like, good. Again, if you don't like it, you can leave. And I don't think anyone's going to hopefully put up with that. I do think it's inevitable that we hear those reports. I mean, just in the last 7 days alone, like, I feel bad for Ralph because the amount of stuff that's come out about people underneath him calling him Specs, or saying that, you know, he shouted at people in front of the squad or whatever. It's ridiculous. And ultimately, look, even if that is all true, and maybe even if the training sessions under Ralph Rangnick weren't that good, and maybe if the atmosphere was toxic, and of course it is in that dressing room or whatever, where's the level of respect to a guy that's your boss, even if he's an interim manager? Where's the level of respect to him? And where's the level of respect to the club? And where's the level of respect to yourself? Okay, you're a professional at the end of the day. My concern is just with everything that we've seen over the last couple of days, how long is it going to take? That's my concern.
It could be within the next few weeks. It could be first week of preseason, whatever.
I thought you said it was going to happen a couple of seconds ago.
What I'm trying to say is, if it does happen, I am not paying absolutely no mind to it. Absolutely no mind. But what I would be more so interested to know is who's complaining. Which players are causing these complaints and spreading this negativity in my changing room? And I'm very much sure that, look, when players are training and they're acting up and whatever, they're not putting 100% or whatever, I think we're going to know from Ten Hag before anyone else. We've seen clips of him shouting at players and having a go at players and whatever. So before the players can get out, I think Ten Hag's going to put them on blast. And also, I hope Ten Hag can control the media narrative, the sheer amount of leakage and everything that comes out of the changing room. So actually, if the players do complain, at least we don't hear it, or we don't get the whole thing. They complain, but they complain within the walls of Manchester United, and it doesn't come out. And Ten Hag can address it like that, the proper way it should be. If you do have something to complain about, complain to the manager and address it with the manager. But if it's to do with work and that you can't, you don't like the timings, you don't like this, that, the other, shut the. You know what I'm going to say.
Oh, no, it's true. It's true. I mean, another report did come out a couple of weeks ago saying that United had looked a lot into these stories coming out over the course of the last couple of years, and they're confident that won't necessarily be as much of an issue next season, basically implying that some of those parties responsible are going to be leaving the club this summer. So hopefully that does quell it a little bit. Red Baron says, Owen, these players won't have the support of the fans. Going back to your point, Faz, I suppose they're saying, actually, you know what? They can complain, but no one's going to listen to them at this point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If they complain. To be honest, if they complained, I think some fans would probably like it. They go, good. At least you're going through your paces. They're actually trying to get something out of you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Every player just needs to have a deep, hard look at themselves, whether they've had an okay season, horrible season, whatever they individually think they've had, because some players may think they've had an okay season, some players may think whatever it is. But they just need to have a deep, hard look and say, look, bite the bullet, just bite your teeth together, and just let's get as fit as possible. Let's get ready for this new manager. And I said this before, Owen, do it for your own career. Really and truly, do it for your own career. As an individual who plays professional football, do it for your own career.
I agree. We've nearly got 1,000 people watching, so be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Also, the link is in the description box below for our 100k subscriber party at the O2 in London in Toca Social. 1 year birthday party as well, 100k. We're all going to be there. I was talking about this morning, Faz, because Flex was telling me that there are some like football games there at Toca Social. And I said, are any for goalkeepers? And he was like, no, it's more like, how's your first touch and all that kind of stuff. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I think they should. I should be able to, I feel, because I think I've seen one of them. It's like a ball fires out at you. You have to take a touch and hit the target, whatever. Why can't I pick it up? Why can't I catch it?
I mean, equality, inclusion.
Yeah.
This is something we have to take up with HR.
I'll bring my goalkeeping gloves. I'm happy to dive around on the floor. It doesn't have to be straight at me. I'm happy to make some saves, pick it up, distribution.
Maybe the day before, or maybe the day before, the day after, we as a group go out and test your goalkeeping skills. I might be able to give you a little bit of work.
Wow,
We'll go to
safe
like
and sound.
Prem 5 or goals or whatever, and go in a cage and try it out. See how it is. But you're right, I guess. But you never know. United view 11 side,
Yeah,
7
or
side.
five-a-side. 5-a-side, that's my jam. I can do that all day. Tiny goals, penalty
You can't
shootouts.
do you can't do 7 aside.
I can do 7-a-side. I can do that.
11 aside.
Not well. I could do that, but
Yeah.
my
Well,
record.
guess what, Owen? Preseason starts for you now. How about that? Preseason starts for you.
Uh,
I want to know.
yeah,
I want to know your player profile. I want to know your family background. I want to know where you're going for holiday.
well, it's going to get dark late. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy with the running that you're going to make me do, Faz. It's a concern of mine, to be honest. Oh, I don't know about it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to leak things out to social media. Faz is making me run.
Out. You're not playing no more. Go and see over there. Go and clean Ronaldo's boots. Go on. Go.
Well, I'll happily do that. No problem.
Yeah.
Let's talk about David De Gea. Speaking of goalkeepers, actually, this is a great segue. David De Gea. Rob Dawson, once again, has said that there are question marks about David De Gea's ability on the ball to play in Erik ten Hag's system. However, there is an acceptance that signing a striker and midfielder is more important this summer than signing a goalkeeper. Now, I wanted to bring this up because we actually agree quite a lot on this one. We've both praised David De Gea a lot this season. We've backed him. We said he could be a candidate to be captain earlier on. But there are those that question his distribution, which I think is fair. And his ability to fit into an Erik ten Hag system. Do you think that he can fit into an Erik ten Hag system when it comes to distribution, or has he at least earned the opportunity to show that he can adapt to it?
I think he can adapt to it. I think Ten Hag will look at his strengths, his David De Gea's weaknesses, and he will address it with David De Gea, and David De Gea will have his own set of targets and own set of plan to improve that aspect of his game. I'm very much sure if David De Gea, and I think David De Gea will be the keeper for next season. That's what Ten Hag will do. He will try and polish David De Gea as much as he can. For a season or two, whatever he's left, and I think we'll see some little aspects of change in David De Gea. I really do think so, and I really do hope so. Because I have to give him a lot of respect. No matter how much he doesn't have XYZ in his artillery, this man has done a lot for this club. He's had a lot of success with this club. He's been here for a long time, and I just have to pay my dues to him. So, with the utmost respect, I think he will try. He knows himself, David De Gea probably knows himself. He will try and do as best as he can to try and fit into the system and have that conversation with the manager and say, what is it that you want me to improve, and how do you think I can improve this side of my game? But every player does this, no matter what his age is. Every player looks at his season and thinks, well, how can I improve, and what could I have done better? So I just hope he can do that, and he can put that on the field next season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think if there's anyone that's earned the opportunity to at least be to prove himself, which seems wild, but to prove himself, it's David De Gea. I think, look, the criticisms about his distribution, his ability to play out with his feet from the back, I think are fair. I do think they're fair. I'm not naive to that. That isn't his strongest point. Could it be a problem under Erik ten Hag? Absolutely, it could be a problem. But it's almost this, I don't know, insistence to write him off immediately that I don't really understand. When people are saying, if we'd had a different keeper this season, we'd have been doing so much better. And it's kind of like, well, as I mentioned before, like you can look at like the Brighton goalkeeper or the Brentford goalkeeper, and you can say, look, they're way better with their feet than David De Gea. That's not really, you can't argue that point. But do they make some of the saves that David De Gea has made this season? I would argue no. Now, I do think, as I mentioned, he has earned an opportunity to prove himself in an Erik ten Hag system. Whether or not it will work out, maybe this time next season, Faz, we're having a conversation going, I tell you what, it just hasn't worked out. You can't do it. And if that has happened, then maybe we do have that discussion this time next year. Is that something that you could maybe see happening?
Yeah, I think, look, has David De Gea made detrimental mistakes this season that has cost us the season?
No, I thought it was a rhetorical question.
No. The silence says itself. It's no. Yes, we are going in a new direction. Is it the main priority right now? It's not. We need to be addressing the top 4 or 5 priorities right now, and then come to him. Just the top 3 maybe: centre back, CDM, forward. or slash winger. Address those three first, and then maybe start negotiating to get a new goalkeeper in. I'd love Sanchez to come into Manchester United. That'd be really cool. After that game, I myself was like, yeah, David De Gea, oh mate, he just
made good saves,
Sanchez.
didn't he? He did make good saves against us, in fairness.
Yeah, Sanchez he turned up that game, and he really, really caught my attention. And I would love to see him in a Manchester United shirt, to be honest, the way that he played. So maybe that could be a discussion going into January and next summer.
Lol Too Hard says, great discussions, guys. Big up Owen Faz. Big up yourself. Appreciate the contribution. Yeah, I think there is a fair criticism as well of David De Gea that his wages, what's he on, 350,000 a week? 370, it's a lot. And the argument is that if you've got a keeper on that amount, he should be maybe the complete article, which again, I think is fair. At the moment, we can't do that much about that. And maybe again, it is a discussion to have in a year or 2 years. And I think it will be. I think that, again, I think Erik ten Hag's going to come in. He's going to take a look at David De Gea, obviously through preseason and through the entirety of this season. As you just said, in terms of priorities, if Erik ten Hag came in and said, okay, my big priority, the one thing we've got to fix is the goalkeeper, you'd be saying, mate, look at the midfield. Look at the defense. Look at, it's only Cristiano Ronaldo we've got up front. Those are far bigger and more pressing issues. If he was coming into a team whereby we were pretty close to success and the argument could just be, oh, it's not great at building out from the back, then you would go, okay, right, focus on the goalkeeper. But that's not the situation we are right now. But I guess going back to the thing we were talking about at the beginning of the show, Faz, does all of that change if he's made captain? If he is made captain by Erik ten Hag, is that a bit of a different conversation? Because then it's like, wow, you're starting to phase out maybe a captain.
I actually really don't know. I don't know, but the way that you've put all of this is beautiful, to be honest. But if the season was going a little bit better, if we were a couple of positions higher up in the league, possibly people don't even talk about De Gea then. People, if we had managed fourth, third, people wouldn't be as concentrated on David De Gea. Everything's been highlighted this season because of obviously how it's been. But if David De Gea gets made captain, man, I don't even see that happening. I really don't see David De Gea being made captain. I actually think the conversation will strictly remain between Bruno and Ronaldo. I phased out David De Gea at this point, especially after looking at the Brighton keeper. Just after that,
you've changed fast. Are you one of those people that believes the goalkeeper can't be captain? Because every time,
no, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I've seen some people saying that, going, oh, I don't like my captain to be a goalkeeper. And I don't understand that point of view. And I understand some people try and maybe say, oh, out-pitch players more effective. But I think there are numerous examples throughout history of good captains that are goalkeepers, whether it's Casillas, Neuer, Buffon. I mean, the list can go on. Lloris at the moment in the Premier League, right? There are numerous people that can do it. So I don't think David De Gea should be excluded because he's the captain. But if he was made captain, that conversation maybe about replacing him in a couple of years does become a bit more difficult. It does. And also as well, when you're talking about contracts, if the decision's actually made, we want to keep David De Gea, if he's the captain and he's going to get a new contract in a couple of years, you would probably want more money as well. And that's a lot.
Yeah. If you do make him captain now, it messes up him getting, sold or leaving the club in the future. It delays it, to be honest, and I humbly think he's got maybe a season left in Manchester United, and that's it. With the utmost respect, Ronaldo, he's got a season left as well. But it's a much different conversation putting the armband on Ronaldo than putting the armband on De Gea. Let's be honest. And who would do a better job? Let's just say that, who would do a better job? David De Gea probably himself knows that I've got 1 or 2 seasons left, and I'm going to get filtered out. So. Yeah, they're probably not gonna look to put the armband on him and extend and etc.
Boogeyman with the super chat saying, why is Gabriel the Arsenal defender at United View? That's the question I want to ask. #hairline. I believe you can answer that question, Faz.
I have the best hairline in the game. That's all I can say. There are some people who do not have hair, or who do not have as beautiful, dark hair. But hey, look. Big up my barber, PH Barbers. I have the best hairline in the game. That's all I can say. It's just I've not had a trim, so that's what it is.
Speaking of transfers and goalkeepers as well, because obviously De Gea is going to be at United next season, but one goalkeeper that doesn't look like he's going to be at United is Dean Henderson. Now, it was reported today by ESPN that Anthony Martial, Eric Bailly, and Dean Henderson have already decided they want to leave Manchester United. Any pushback on any three of those three leaving, Faz?
Can you repeat the three again?
Martial, Bailly, and Henderson.
Sad about Bailly.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say Eric Bailly.
You should have put a bet on it.
It's one of my follow-up questions. I was going to say, what about Eric Bailly?
I'm just sad that it's gone this way. I had a lot of faith in him, and I thought he could give us something more. I really did. His injuries just messed up his whole situation in United. And when he's played for us, I've seen things that I've liked. I've seen things that I've said, okay, yeah, if he does more of that, that'll be good for us. He's very aggressive as a centre-back. He's good on his feet. You know, he's got abilities way higher than Harry Maguire. I'd just be sad to see him leave. Martial, as much as I'd be sad to see him leave, I'd be happy to see him leave, because when he first came, it was the talk of the world, wasn't he? Anthony Martial is going to be the next greatest whatever forward, etc., etc., etc. But again, for him on and off the pitch, it's just been an absolute nightmare. So he's gone on loan to a club who's publicly saying that he's not good enough even for our team, and a team that he's gone on loan. As a player, that just crushes you. So the purpose of sending a player on loan is to gain confidence, gain minutes, and come back so you can hit the ground running in our club. And it's absolutely opposite. Sevilla has gone and crushed whatever bit of confidence or happiness that probably Martial had left in him. So it'd be good for him to just have a change of whole scenery and go somewhere else. Henderson's probably upset that he's not had the starting chance. You know, he's probably upset that, look, I could probably do a much better job than De Gea, and the club aren't witnessing that. The club aren't seeing that De Gea's wage and his history is dictating him being the starting player, possibly. And he probably thinks I'm unfair and I have more to give, which is absolutely fair for him to think so. Absolutely fair for him to think so. And if he does leave, again, upsetting. I would like him to stay, because if we don't go and figure out a new goalkeeper going forward, he could be that person. He could possibly be that person. So I would have loved for him to stay. And I still have a bit of hope that he might end up changing his mind and staying. But it's sad about it. It's sad about it.
You got me there. The person who was saying about your trim, Faz, is Bolt. So you were right. You can sense these kind of things. Yeah. JK also says 50 million down the drain. Wow. Yeah, when it comes to those three, Martial, I mean, you're right that he goes to Sevilla to build himself back up, whether it was to come back to United or to put himself in the shop window or to eventually stay at Sevilla. It really hasn't worked out there. I think their president came out and said, look, we actually wasted money. They said we spent a lot of money on bringing him on loan. It hasn't worked out. He's had injuries. He's barely played. I remember his first game, Lopetegui heavily criticized him, was like, he's got to work a lot harder. So I'm not necessarily sure he'll leave United this summer, to be honest. A lot of people are saying that, Ten Hag might think he can get something out of him or what have you. I'm kind of tired, to be honest, of having that conversation about how can we get something out of Anthony Martial? We haven't in the last couple of years. And most importantly, if he doesn't want to be here, just go, let him go. Eric Bailly, I remember doing a stream with Flex at the time that Bailly signed a new contract with United. It was last year. And I was flabbergasted by it, absolutely flabbergasted, because I was like, this guy don't play. And for whatever reason, whether it's injuries or he's just not fancied. When he does play, you always hear those people saying, that's what he can be. But he's never been that on a consistent basis for injuries or whatever. Some of the reports that were coming out about him in terms of his relationship with Ralph over his tenure there, concerning, when it comes to AFCON, where he wasn't where he was supposed to be, and then he came back and Ralph shouted at him and he didn't like that as well. Whether or not it's true, that's up to whoever to believe, but I really don't have a lot of time for that kind of stuff. Oh, he shouted at me in front of everyone. Did he come back late? If you come back late, you deserve to be shouted at. If you're not where you're saying you're going to be, you deserve to be shouted at. Then it's the role of the manager to discipline the players and to set standards. And it's almost like players were shocked by standards being set at the club. That just can't happen. It can't. And Eric Bailly, he could play 5 games and we'd be like, oh, it's a different Eric Bailly, but he will get injured at some point. So that's just the situation for him.
There's been times where he's come back. There's been times where he's come back from injury, had 1 game, gone back injured again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. That's ultimately the problem. Henderson, I somewhat empathize a little bit with him because he was clearly told when he came back to United off loan and signed that contract that he was going to be United's number 1. Didn't work out that way for a variety of reasons. When he came into the squad into the first team rather at the end of last season, I wasn't blown away by him, to be honest. I thought he had a good game, say, against Man City, but I remember specifically that game at Old Trafford against Liverpool. I thought he was really, really poor. And my concern at the time was, if that's in an empty stadium at Old Trafford, what happens when it's full up against Liverpool? That's pressure. You need to be able to handle that kind of pressure in goal. I think, like you, I wouldn't rule out a loan move this summer, because maybe, again, it is a conversation the goalkeeper to have in a year or 18 months' time. But again, with all of these players, if any of them want to leave and they've made their mind up they want to leave, then they can go. That's ultimately they can go. I don't have a lot of time for players that don't want to be at Man United at this point.
100%. Yeah, that's what I was going to come on to as well. 100%. If you've not got the wholehearted 100% dedication towards the club and wanting to be part of this new process, then thank you very much for your services. Doesn't matter who you are. Thank you very much for your services. Wish you all the best. Good luck. That's how. Yeah, just what it is. If you want to be part of the new process and the manager believes in that you can give something to the club and whatever, we're going on a journey. Let's go on this ride together. But other than that, thank you very much.
Exactly. I want to talk about Steve McClaren because I think it was maybe the last time we did the show together. You had some thoughts about Steve McClaren. Now, since then, he has been confirmed as one of Erik ten Hag's assistant coaches. Now, it's been reported today that part of the reasoning behind appointing Steve McClaren as an assistant coach is to help improve the mood and togetherness within the Manchester United squad. Now, as I mentioned, the last time we spoke, you were quite skeptical, maybe critical of the McClaren appointment. Has your opinion changed on that at all?
I understand now why he's here. I have a bit more clarity. He's here regardless, and because I'm supporting Ten Hag, I'm supporting Van der Gaag, I'm supporting McClaren. Good luck to you. I hope you can motivate these players just like how I motivate the United View community when I'm talking after post-match. I hope you can do the same. It's good to have a bit of clarity. I know he rates certain players highly that we sometimes don't. So that will be a topic of discussion throughout the season to see. I've read some comments about him and his thoughts on McTominay, for example. But if that's his role, then that's his role, helping out. And people have said he's a great coach. He's a good coach. He's got good analysis when it comes to players and X, Y, Z, and he has a good previous relationship with Ten Hag. He's been in the league before, so all these positive things we have to consider. I had my doubts, but I think I'm going to support him, and I must be able to push aside any doubts now. He's here. He's going to stay, and I have to support him and get on board.
Yeah, I mean, McClaren, we kind of touched on this before, but the issue almost is with McClaren, isn't it? Is he's one of those names that when you bring him up because of his failures in the past or some of this, the memes involving him, the Dutch accent in the interview, the video of when he was the Newcastle manager and he's giving it that and the player runs off. Well, that's Steve McClaren, and people laugh at his hair. People laugh at that kind of thing, right? I was never under the impression he was going to be the main assistant. Van der Gaag is clearly the main assistant. This guy is going to be... people are saying, he's Mike Phelan 2.0. I think I saw that. United Support says it there, Phelan 2.0. And to be honest, they always say that like it's a bit of a diss, but that really is what his role is going to be. He's going to be Ten Hag's version of Mike Phelan, but that isn't anything new. We've seen that a lot of times with managers that have come from outside of the Premier League in. They usually retain someone in that backroom staff that has experience or knows about the Premier League, right? Whether it's Arsene Wenger, it was Pat Rice. Whether it was Jose Mourinho, Steve Clark. Whether it was Antonio Conte, it was Steve Holland or Ancelotti, Paul Clement. That's what people do. They need people that know the club, and they need people that know the league, because there will be instances that Eric Ten Hag has to turn to McClaren and go, how does that work over here in England? Or how does that work in the Premier League? Or what's going away to this club like? Or explain to me the rivalry between, say, like Man United and Leeds. Explain that to me. Explain what kind of the atmosphere is going to be. That stuff can be invaluable. And I never felt that McClaren was going to be on the grass every single day, leading training sessions, saying, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. I would say it's more of a sounding board. And ultimately, we keep going back to this, but if it's what Eric Ten Hag wants, then give him what he wants. I'm of the opinion that we should be giving Eric Ten Hag everything that he feels like he needs to be successful. If he feels he needs Steve McClaren to be successful, or is more comfortable having Steve McClaren there, then I don't really see the issue.
And McClaren, he'll give Ten Hag a different perspective on things. I guess that's just the one way of looking at this. And before, when the initial talk started, I was really skeptical as to what his role is going to be within the club. Now that it's been somewhat clarified, I'm much more in a comfortable place to say, okay, if that's the case, if he's been brought in to not be leading training sessions, but more so to uplift the mood, keep the players together, report back to Ten Hag as to what he's hearing from set players or things that he can spot, because sometimes Ten Hag might not spot something that McClaren has spotted, because he's been in this environment before when we were a huge, big club. So if you look at it from that angle, he might be giving some sort of tips or some sort of prompt to Ten Hag saying, hey, when I was here, this is how we would do things. This is how this thing would work. This is how the big man would handle it. This is what I think, would help you, X, Y, Z. So, yeah, I just have to look at the positives and hope that he can do that to the best of his ability.
And also as well, look, you mentioned about his experience during a successful period at Manchester United. When he was there, say like Roy Keane was the captain, he could say, actually, look, when you're picking a captain, that guy's got the leadership qualities that a Manchester United captain needs. So, it isn't necessarily, and Ten Hag said in his press conference, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go with what Steve McClaren tells him to do, but it's always useful to have when it comes to analysis. Definitely. Yeah. David Lee with the super sticker. Appreciate the contribution. Big up the mods, as always. Big up the free seats too. Finally, I do want to finish up about expectations, because Ten Hag has reportedly made it clear during talks with Manchester United that it was unrealistic for them to expect a serious challenge in the Premier League overnight. Now, senior figures at the club, including John Murtough, Darren Fletcher, and Richard Arnold, reportedly agreed with him when it comes to this one, which you would think, well, it's just logical. Like, we're not going to challenge for the Premier League next season. But, and I know it's a difficult one to answer, considering that, the last season's just ended. We don't even know what our actual squad's going to look like next season. But what are your expectations, Faz? What are your expectations going into next season for United?
I was going to say something, but I just remembered when you and Flex had receipts.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Faz. Say what you feel. Careful. Say how you feel. Say how you feel.
Very careful. The way that you pulled out receipts and Flex pulled out receipts. Look, logically, my expectation is I would like to do well in a domestic competition. I wouldn't be bothered about the league. I mean, long as we are in Europe, and I don't mean conference, as long as we are in Europe, I would be very, 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 very happy with the first season. I think, that's okay. I have very, very low expectation, because when you set low expectations, majority of the time, someone tends to exceed them, right? So setting low expectations. We're sixth now. Him coming in, doing what he needs to do and setting the tone and bringing in his players, exiting players. Automatically, if you think from a simulation perspective, if you had to put all this into a simulation, into a machine and get a result, you'd think, well, actually, we might be 4th or 5th next season, right? Bringing in better players, mentality, new manager, all of these things, new coaching staff, possibly new captain, all of these things. So yeah, in the league, long as I'm in Europa League and above, I'm okay. Hallelujah, thank God, Alhamdulillah. Going into a domestic cup though, I would like to see something to be excited about. I think we could do better in domestic cup. We that Middlesbrough game just scarred. I keep going on about it. I need to let it go, but
It was
it's
back
just
in January.
I just need to let it go, don't I? But imagine if that ball had gone into the back of the net, if Bruno had put it in. Just imagine.
I was about to say, do I need to bring up Bruno the myths?
No,
That
you don't need
still
to
eats
bring it.
away at you.
Well, I'm nearly. That's why I'm here near the seaside, trying to reminisce, looking at the water, and just thinking, let it go. Just put all the thoughts in a glass bottle, and throw it, and let it go. But look, I think a domestic cup, a little bit of competition in a domestic cup, get me excited a bit. A new style of football. Hoping my expectation more from not so much from the manager, but more so from some players who are going to be in the club. I want to see them happy. I want to see them proud. I want to see them play football, enjoy their football. I don't want to be seeing negative comments coming out in the media. These sort of things. More so, the first season, I'm just giving him as a start. Just make the start. No expectation at all, except for just go and have a crack at some domestic cups. Really, that's it.
I mean, this is the thing as well, though, isn't it? It's easy to say, like, oh, if we finish 6th, we'll take it. But do you think you can be calm? Do you think you can be calm and not be, I want to say reactive, but do you think all of the fans can be calm if, say, we finish 6th this season? If we finish 6th next season, there are going to be those people that are going, where's the improvement? Where's the improvement? If we finish 6th, but there's a style of football and we're playing somewhat attacking football, will you take that? Or is that going to be difficult?
I would take it. It'd be very difficult knowing me. I'd probably go on one few times. But it'd be very difficult, but I'd take it. I'd have to take it. I will take it, yeah. I will. I'm gonna be more concentrating on domestic cups and Europa, in my humble opinion. The league is gonna be so hard. Conte, Arsenal had all or nothing and they picked nothing, so they're out the question. It's Conte, Tuchel, Klopp, and Guardiola. Is going to be very hard for him to penetrate that circle of managers in the first league. So, yeah, I'd just have to take it if he comes 6th, but I won't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. It's his first season. Man City have a freaking monster as a striker. Chelsea are going to look to spend it eventually when they can. Conte has been given 150 to go and play about within the market. There's all these aspects of things. Arsenal looking to bring players in. So, yeah. Even West Ham, they did really well this season. They did really, really well this season. So they're going to be, another one as well. So, yeah, the league itself, long as he's in Europe, I'm happy. Some sort of Europe, and that's not conference.
Ed T says here, can you believe this? Owen, you need to step it up. Next to Fresh Faz, you're looking like Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo, today, not in his prime. Unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, Owen, come on. When are you going to put some suit and shirt on? I've never seen you. You always be wearing hoodies. What's this? Yeah. Do you not care about the community? Yeah, actually. Yeah, do you not care about United View community? Look, I come prepared today. I come looking like Ten Hag 2.0, Asian Ten Hag. What about you?
Change your name on Twitter to that. Asian Ten Hag.
Yeah, but I've still got hair, so that's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening.
Yeah, that's just I can. This is me dressing up, Faz. You should see me. Look, they're right. Owen holding back tears. Once we finish up, the end screen's going to come on. I'm going to be like proper full on. Oh, terrible. Terrible.
Next stream, we want to see smart Owen.
You're not ready for it. You're not ready for it.
No, we're ready. We're ready. This is the new. We're going into a new direction, Owen. Let's switch this up now. Let's all start dressing like Ten Hag. Get the Cheetos, get the shirt, the suit, and everything. Let's start dressing like him. Yeah. Let's all shave our heads. We'll
do it
as well.
We'll let's not go crazy, Faz. I mean, it started off just by wearing a shirt. Now we're shaving our heads. This is getting mental at this point. But I tell you what, we'll make a commitment. Every time it's me and you doing a show, I'll put on like a shirt or whatever. I'll dress up a little bit. Yeah.
Well,
we'll bring an element of class. We'll bring.
I'll have to keep that commitment too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll keep that commitment too.
That's what we'll do. Anyway, guys, look, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Plenty of really exciting stuff still coming over the course of the next few days, next few weeks. The summer transfer window. So very exciting stuff to come soon. We're out of here. Have a good Wednesday. Peace. We're not gone, by the way, yet, because I just saw this super chat from Alan saying, Faz more like Asian Sherlock Holmes. So if you've stayed to the end, you saw that super chat. Appreciate you, Alan. We're out of here. Peace.